Welcome to part 4 of our series converting commercial to residential, 4 flats in Acton. We're here in the hallway where there's been quite a lot of changes, as you can see, especially to do with the resilient bars. These bars decouple the sound to put the plasterboard on each side. Where you have the communal area and where you have the flat, you have to have quite a thick amount of insulation between the communal area to the flat inside itself. Similarly, between the ceiling and the above flat, you can see where they've done these metal bars again to decouple the sound so that the plasterboard, when the noise resonates through, it has to go through the metal and then through the insulation, then through the metal, so it adds that kind of sound insulation. So this is quite costly to do. It's more costly than, typical just stud wall with plasterboard. You can see that we've used various types of extra sound proof plasterboard as well, which has kind of got an element of cement board in it as well. We've got the fire rated plasterboard, we've got the soundproof plasterboard, and as you'll see throughout the whole flat, they're putting the plasterboard on the walls because we've had building control and structural engineer sign off on the insulation. So once they're plasterboarded, you can't actually then go back to them and say, oh, look, this is what I've done. You have to take evidence of all of the insulation you've taken. So you take photos and show them how much insulation has gone in, as well as the architect has to draw a structural drawings as well as architectural drawings to show that the thermal component, which is called the U value, is strong enough for these particular material that you buy. Each manufacturer and supplier has a different level of thermal density, so you need to work that out using, obviously the architect has that information. You need that to be signed off by building control before you put the insulation in. So in some instances on our top floor, we had to add extra insulation on some of the areas to make sure that it's compliant. So it's for 2 reasons. One is ventilation and one is for thermal. So those 2 things are really important, that there is a gap for the ventilation and that there's enough thermal efficiency there. So in this hallway, we've gone in kind of like a straight line. On the original plan we were maybe doing an L shape, but this straight line makes it just feel a lot more just square and easy to kind of walk through. At the front of the entrance, we have this communal cupboard, which is for housing the electric meter, the fire alarm system, CCTV system, intercom system. We'll have 5 electricity meters, sub-meters into this cupboard, so people can read, all of the flat owners can read their electricity usage. And we also have one of them is for the communal area. So this communal area is all for the landlord supply, and then the 4 flats have their own supply meters as well. So that's separated out. This cupboard is obviously big enough to cover all of that. Then as you can see inside the flats, you've got all of the wiring where they've done first fix wiring, where they create a circuit within that flat to have inside of the flat will have the fuse box from which it then goes into every part of the property and then also runs back to the sub meters here. So all of this first fix wiring has been done. So as you look around the property, you can see these wires kind of hanging around the ceilings and stuff. Where they're kind of popping down, quite a few of them in the ceilings, those are for spotlights. There's also chandeliers that we've got. We've also got fire alarm systems, which they are coloured like a red coloured like this. So we've got those as well, which you can see will be for the fire alarm system, which has to be mains connected, mains operated. So some people can get these battery operated ones, which won't be compliant for our flats. We will be changing the front door and this front wall once we do get planning completely for that, because it's an external part of the property, so you require to have full planning permission for anything on the external part of the property. As you can see behind me, the whole staircase has now been changed. As per building regulations, the maximum tread height has to be 18 millimeters, maximum riser height 18 centimeters, and the maximum tread size is 25 centimeters. And so if you look that the stairs have now been built to standard, we were worried that, you know, by changing it, it meant that maybe our ceiling height may be affected, especially with a steel beam. But when we did all the measurements, it made sense. We found a very good joiner company that has done it at a very good, reasonable price to give us this staircase, which is now made it feel a bit more, you know, like brand new. So we were planning to use the grandfathering rights of the same staircase. That staircase previously didn't meet building regs because the staircase heights and the treads were not in building regs sizes, but because it was original existing, we didn't have to replace it. But when we do replace it, it has to meet all the regs now. So similarly, all of the internal doors have to also meet building reg sizes. The entrance door over there for the flat has to be a minimum of 775 millimeters. From full opening has to be 775 millimeters, 77.5 centimeters width. When our builders have just done it, this has been done slightly smaller than what was required. And obviously when you send the plans to the building control, they make their comments. And so we just have to make that slightly wider to make it accessible for wheelchair access users, so that they can have clear width so they can easily get in and out, which is one big thing. Similarly, where you have the kind of corridor space, the corridor widths have to be a minimum as well. So we've kept them at 80 centimeters, which is enough space for, you know, person to kind of walk through comfortably and have it as some areas which are corridors, which are fire protected routes, they have to have that minimum width as well. So follow me through the ground floor flat and I can show you through how the progress has gone. It's very still work in progress because there's, you know, rubbish that's not been collected, but you'll get a good idea of the space because of the stud walls which are all in, and you can see as well the ceiling heights are crazy high in the ground floor and the first floor especially. It will be really nice. So yeah, come through and we'll see the ground floor flat. This is the communal area as I'm walking through. Downstairs is the communal basement storage. This has to be 775, like I said. These have to be FD30 rated, which are fire doors with a 30 rating. The basement one has to be a FD60 door with a 60 minute rating. The rest of the doors internally are all FD30s inside of the flat. So as you come in, we had to decide, you know, whether we do spotlights or chandeliers and where the spots go, where the sockets go, where the switches go, where's the washing machine going, where's the dishwasher going, where's the fridge freezer going. All of those things, those decisions had to be made before all of the wiring stuff has been done. So I had to sit down and go through all of those things properly. I managed it all myself because me and my business partner, we did it together, and we just went through it without having to use any external consultants to save on cost, and because we've got some experience already. So as you come in, this is the entrance to the flat, and you've got on this side, you've got 2 bedrooms where, as you can see, this is the fire protected corridor, and this is 1 bedroom. The size of this bedroom is actually over the minimum square footage for a double bed. Minimum size double bed is 11.5 meters squared, and that meets that, so you can get 2 people in there. Similarly on this one is a lot bigger. I think this one is about 16-17 meters squared, so you could potentially get more people in there, but we're just going to keep it as like a king size main master bedroom kind of thing. And as I said before, the window will be blocked up, and there'll be 1 new sash window at the front which just covers that. And yeah, it's a very spacious big master bedroom. So yeah, and then because this is a ground floor flat, it doesn't have we haven't put in this flat electric boilers. We put in a gas boiler, so that's why we didn't have to use any storage space for the gas boiler. On the upstairs flats, we've done electric only, so that's why we have spaces which is like storage tanks for water tanks. On the ground floor, we're doing a combi boiler which will be in the kitchen, which I'm about to show you shortly. So I'm just going to come through that way. Okay, so we're here in the hallway and the corridor space. There's 2 bathrooms one master bathroom with the bathtub in it, which is a good decent size, and you've got one shower room as well. We've gone for contrasting colors in terms of the palette of the tiles. The first thing you require before you do buy the bathrooms and the kitchens is buying the tiles, because the tiles will be fitted first and then everything else after the first fix plumbing has been done. So also with bathrooms, doors have to open outside. It can't open inside. The reason being that if it opens inside, if say somebody is passed out inside the bathroom, you won't be able to get them out because they're blocking the bathroom door. So that's why it's better and safer for you to keep the bathroom door opening outwards. So these two are both opening outwards, and we've gone for full tiles all the way from the floor to ceiling. Our tiles have been ordered, they're here in the garden, and yeah, we've gone for one dark colored bathroom and one lighter colored bathroom. So this area then leads down to the kitchen. It's blocked up right now, but we're going to go around the garden area to look at the back extension. Okay, so we're in the ground floor kitchen area, kitchen living area as such. There's different few ways of laying this place out. It depends on what works. Either you could have done one run all the way along that line, put a little island in the middle, and then you can have a sofa facing this side of the wall, and a TV that side. Because the width isn't that wide, that's the only reason why we didn't go with that option. And also that potentially for future, we wanted to keep the kitchen a little bit smaller and have a bigger living area as such. So what we decided to do is put a L-shaped kitchen going across the window over there and the wall over there. So half that wall will be the kitchen area. This area over here will become a media wall where you'll have a TV housed in here. Underneath you'll have one of those warm fireplaces, digital fireplaces, which is going to be bringing that kind of warmth to the room and having that kind of modern feel. And then on this side, you've got your sofa with an L-shaped sofa on this side and a dining table that side. That way this layout works, I think, the best way. You can see the spotlights have all been, done over here. Similarly, we're going to have maybe 2 chandeliers as well. We've got loads of natural light coming in this room anyway, so we didn't require skylight, as well as because upstairs we've got the balcony for the first floor flat, so that's why we kept that ceiling as all closed off, and as well that helps with leaks and things like that, not having a roof light at the top. So yeah, we've got like the big double bay window there, the big window over here, and we've got French double doors going outside. The windows will be installed in 2 to 3 weeks time. Regarding windows, on the ground floor, they have to be, ground and first floor have to be fire escape windows, in which fire escape meaning that the opening has to be more than a certain exact square meters that it opens out, and also that it has to have the height between the floor and the exit. You have to be less than 1.1 meters high. So here our floor level is actually going to come up. We're going to put some concrete in here, and then the floor will be built up again. So the floor height will probably be somewhere here. So between there to there, this would be your kind of fire escape, which you can jump out the window without any issues. You can at a maximum of 1.1 meters high, between 800 and 1.1. If it's less than that, then you require to have restrictors, just in case you don't want to fall out your window. That especially on the first floor, that's where, and second floor, these kind of things are more important. So yeah, we'll now go upstairs and have a look at the rest of the flats. So with this staircase, we've got this soft pine wood staircase. You have an option for hardwood staircase as well. There's benefits and pros for both of them. So benefits and cons for both of them. So here we've got the pine wood is, I would say, easier to manage, easier to clean and things. Probably not as long lasting as hardwood, but yeah, I think that's and also pine wood is a lot cheaper, but it still gets a good effect. It's better than MDF. There's a third option with MDF, which is chipboard. It doesn't really last very long. It doesn't have that kind of quality finish to it. So yeah, we're gonna have a staircase runner going up here. We're also gonna put herringbone flooring going throughout, having a border along the side, herringbone flooring throughout the property, which will have the LVT finish, which is basically like a luxury vinyl tile, which will look nice and it's hard wearing. So yeah, we can come up and have a look at the first floor flat. There'll be emergency lighting on the walls so that whoever comes up will be able to easily see what's going on. We put plug sockets here so that for when cleaners want to clean the communal area, they can put their hoover in or whatever so they can get their cleaning done nicely. And this is the entrance to the flat itself. So entrance, as I said before, has to be minimum of 33 inches. So as you walk in, you've got a small corridor over here, a small corridor area, which either leads you into the kitchen, the boiler room, the bathroom, or the bedroom. So over here will lead you to the kitchen, which is obviously the heart of the home. In the same way, because the width was relatively narrow, that layout of putting a straight kitchen and an island with the sofa and the TV this way didn't make as much sense. So we went with putting the run of the kitchen all the way along the side in an L shape. We've got dishwasher, washing machine, sink, cooker on this side, extractor fan going out into the front of the building. Then we're going to have a quartz worktop splashback all the way across. And because this property is so high, the ceilings, normally a lot of the standard size kitchens come as 2.1 meters, which is about here, right? Now I'm 1.9 meters. This 2.1 is probably about here. 2.3 is a high ceiling. It's a high ceiling for higher than normal properties. So that's probably around there. That's a high ceiling. But still, you can see we've got like a good 1 meter up there where you can still have a big gap. So it maybe not look so nice. So having to maybe order customized kitchen to make it look a little bit better, we might have to push the units up a little bit or get a 2.4, 2.5 meter kitchen, just to make sure that it's proportionate to this room, how it feels, so it doesn't look like the kitchen's too small. Similarly over here, we've got the same layout where we've got our TV cabling here, our Cat6 cables, our Ethernet cable, Virgin Media broadband cable. So you're going to have a media wall over here. Like I said, with the fireplace, LED fireplace, color changing. We're going to have the strip lighting going all the way around as well. So that's going to give that ambient lighting for the room. We're not sure whether we do color changing or whether we keep it to one color at the moment. Also, as I said, we've got upstairs, we've got electric only. So electric only, we're going to have the radiators, electric only. And these windows, as I said before, you can see it's very, very low, the height. So obviously we're going to be having to, instead of having the panel opening at the bottom, we're going to open the panel from somewhere here. So the bottom third of this won't be half and half. This will be 1/3 and 2/3 a pane, so that we have a fire escape window here, so that this maximum height is 1100, in which you can open it out. Once you open it out, you can then jump out the window safely, where there's enough gap for you to leave and escape in a case of a fire on the first floor. So the design and the shape of the windows have been made to meet those fire regulations. And as I said as well, the quality of the windows, we had to choose vents for each window, which were bringing in a lot of ventilation, because if in case it's closed at certain times during the day, you still want that ventilation in the room. So we had to get the extra powerful vents, as well as the thickness of the glass had to be a minimum of sound protecting of 31 decibels of sound. So you have to look at the data sheet of the glass as well as the data sheet of the window frame. So the window frame, the glass, and the vents. These three things really important to make sure you get that right for the windows. That's going to be done hopefully in a couple of weeks' time, in the next installment when you watch this video the next time. So yeah, we'll go through to the next rooms. And yeah, as I didn't say as well, this is where the kind of sofa and dining area will be, probably in this corner. You've got kind of a TV over there, sofa over here, dining area over here, kitchen over there. So it's plenty of space. It covers everything what what would be needed here for the flat. Okay, as you come through, I'll probably take you through to the main master bedroom right now. So you can see also a new staircase over here. which takes you into the bedroom. So this bedroom, the bed will actually be going into this corner of the, it's like fixed position where we're going to put the bed into this corner, because this fits a king size bed, which is a king size bed is 1.5 meters wide. The gap is 1.6, perfectly fits into that gap. And that way it would only take up maybe half of the room over here. The remaining half, practically speaking, everyone would want to have a cupboard. So we might put an inbuilt cupboard over here where the old chimney was. And then there's the free access to go out into the balcony where you've got, like I said, there's no issue with the skylight or anything over there. We're building out where you can see these two steel posts. There's going to be a balcony which goes out by 2 meters long, 2.4 meters wide. It's going to be a glass balcony going around. We need to keep a 1.7 meter side obscured glazing so we're not overlooking the neighbors. But on this side and that side, perfectly fine to look out onto the garden. So this room will have a radiator over here as well, just a towel radiator for the room. And similarly, we had to build out the insulation 10 centimeters on this wall. On this wall, we had to build out the insulation. We've got here brick cavity wall and another block of insulation over here. Because from the outside coming in, it needs to have strong insulation from the outside. There's no neighbor on this side. There's no neighbor on that side. The walls had to be properly insulated so that, moisture and sound doesn't come through. So yeah, I'll take you through to the rest of the flat now. I think it's nice to have this unusual layout where you've got the bedroom hidden away, tucked away from that kind of area where you've got the kind of staircase. So that means that you can get that, nice good night's sleep where you don't have to worry about the sound of the TV and stuff on the other side of the property. And as well, that the bedrooms normally at the back of the property make it better that you don't hear the sound as well from the high street on the front. So yeah, as you come up, we have this room over here is the boiler room, which is going to house a 600 millimeter tank in the corner, and that's going to heat up the whole flat basically, as well as provide the water for the showers, the kitchen, the taps, everything. So that's why we need each flat to have its own water tank. We're also getting the 4 new water meters to come in, so that will be done once the scaffolding is down, also in a couple of weeks time. So that's that. And then we've got the bathroom over here. We've got a fixed layout, which we've tried to do to make it make sense. Where you have a window, it makes sense to put the toilet there, because where you have your sink, you want the sink to have a kind of mirror cabinet above it. So we put the toilet over here. We've got a 1700 bathtub over here, which will have all the floor to ceiling tiles, and even on the panel of the bath panel we'll have tiles as well. And then we've got our sink over here with a mirror cabinet over here. So the electrics have been done to wire it in so that we've got the lighting over there, the radiator over here as well. So yeah, we've gone a lot of places for bathroom shopping, and we found a really good trade supplier who can provide like more than 50% discount. So we're likely to go with him, and the quality is very, very good. A couple of the toilets they do actually contain bidets as well, which is useful for some people who use bidets. It's inbuilt into the toilet as well. So yeah, we might do that. And yeah, we can go up to the next flat, which is exactly the same layout. So on the second floor flat, we've got the exact same layout as the first floor flat. However, just the ceiling heights are slightly lower on the second floor. Here we've still got 2.8 meter high ceilings, which is still quite tall. And similarly, we can do the higher kitchen units. So as I said before, 2.1 is normal height, 2.3 is even higher than normal. Some kitchen suppliers do go to 2.5. On here, we'll probably go to 2.5 on here, which is still going to have loads of ceiling height as well. With the lighting, we've got the strip lighting on the top all the way around, color changing, or mood lighting, ambience lighting. With the windows, we have similar here. we don't need fire escape windows over here because the windows are on the second floor. You can't jump out and safely land, so these are normal windows. Obviously they're going to be sash windows that are going to be replacing these ones. We got a good deal where we've got 18 windows fencer approved. Fencer is very important, that if you ever want to sell the property, that you have fencer accreditation. So that proves that these windows are done to building regulation standards. And wherever you buy properties, that you know that they have that warranty there as well with the windows that it comes with. So I would say worth getting fencer approved. But like I said, we got very, very good deal with these. And even though these are huge windows size wise, we've kept the scaffolding outside. So once they come to be able to fit it, so they keep the scaffolding outside. Once they've finished the windows, we can take the scaffolding down because they've painted the front walls and everything. That's all done. So yeah, in this layout of the room, kitchen, media wall, sofa and dining area. So I'll take you through to the rest of the flat. It's exactly the same layout as the others. So the one on the first floor. Yeah, you got your bathroom over there, same layout as the first floor, and your boiler cupboard over there, same layout as the first floor. Then you got the bedroom, which is at the back. So we're in the process of plasterboarding throughout the whole property. So that's why you can see some walls have got plasterboard on them, some walls don't have plasterboard on them. And as you can see, they're different colored boards. Some of them are soundproof boards, some of them are fire rated boards. Again, with the external wall, you have to have extra insulation. So we've got the bricks, the blocks, and the extra internal timber studs, which has got the 10 centimeters extra of insulation on both the wall and both of the external walls. This is going to be a balcony, slightly smaller balcony than the downstairs one, which is 1 meter long, and the width is 2.4 meters wide the same way. We've got a few quotes for that. That's going to be installed soon as well, once the windows and doors have been fitted. So yeah, it's coming together quite well. And finally, we'll go up to the studio flat on the top floor, which is the 4th flat. So going up to the 3rd floor, the 4th flat, we have a AOV, which is called an automatic opening vent. This opens up automatically in the case of smoke or fire happening. So this whole staircase is a protected fire escape route, which allows, you know, obviously the smoke to get out of the area, so people can hopefully safely get out in case of a fire. Unfortunately, if that does happen, the cost of that vent only just by itself was £3,000. So this was an additional cost that I wasn't aware about beforehand, but it had to be done. It was a mandatory requirement now that you need an AOV, especially in a communal staircase. So that was very important. It was extremely heavy to carry that all the way up to this floor, and they've done a really good job to kind of like fit that properly. So as you come up into the entrance of the top floor flat, one smart thing that they did do was put the boiler on the side here, which is where it won't affect the kind of internal storage of the place. So the boiler is that electric boiler will be placed in this small cupboard over here. So then you have free space throughout the whole of the studio flat. So this is the entrance of the studio flat. As I said, it has to be minimum 775 width. You come in and then straight away, the layout is that you've got your kitchen running in an L shape over here. This is where the cooker will be, sink will be over there, washing machine, dishwasher. Here, the ceiling heights are not as high, but for a standard house, this is still good. Like, this is still above 2.3 meters. And so it meets building reg requirements. And throughout here, because of the lower ceiling heights, we went with spotlights rather than putting chandeliers as such. If we do put chandeliers, we could have just put like these kind of flat lights so that it doesn't overhang, so you don't hit your head when you're walking around. In terms of the space up here, this is all a brand new mansard loft conversion. So this was never existed before in the building before. So obviously they built up the walls and built up the roof. This is like a huge bonus to have this mansard loft space, which is going to be its own self-contained studio flat, in which it could be rented out for, a decent amount in this area, and even potentially could become a 1-bedroom flat if we put a partition wall up later on, but for now it's a studio flat. Over this area we've got your TV cabinet, media wall unit, which is going to have the fireplace with the TV above it integrated all the way across, and we're going to have the bed running along that side wall over there. So everything has got a segregated space, so you have enough for living, dining, kitchen, everything in a little bit segregated. As well as the switch and sockets, we made sure that each area has its own side to open the lights. Also, one of the major bonuses of this top floor was the views that you have across central London. The pier which we have, we dropped that down a little bit just outside this front window. If I just show you, we dropped this a little bit down slightly, and if you peer out you can see some of the skyline across London, which is a really added bonus as well. It's a shame we couldn't go further down, but this is all down to planning. It would be a long full application to remove this even further down, but as well structurally this is required to be there at the moment. So it's still a really nice bonus to have uninterrupted skyline views across London. And we've got these 2 big windows bringing all the natural light into the room. We've also got a small shower room which is on the other side, and that we put a sliding shower in with a toilet and a sink, which I'll just take you through to over here. Here you can see what it looks like before it's been installed. There's going to be a sliding door over here, which will allow for the shower unit to be placed in. And you've got your toilet and your sink with the mirror cabinet over there. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of the tour, and I hope that the progress on this will really keep going at a fast pace. We're still awaiting the planning application for the 4th flat approval. The planning officer was on sick leave as well as on annual leave, so we've just got a response from her and she's saying she's going to respond as soon as possible. That'll be the biggest relief once that's done. And then in terms of funding and everything like that, we're on track, we're on progress to kind of like pushing forward the property. We've also got some site visits that we're doing and hosting at this place. So if you're interested to attend on a site visit, to come down, have a look and see what a commercial to residential place really looks like, and now it's really, the shell is coming together, we can really see the space properly. You're more than welcome to come down and have a look. Just drop me a message, add a comment. Hope you like, share this video, and thank you very much for watching.